So the beautiful princess came into the palace and kissed her mother, and her father, and her grandfather. This is what.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Grandpa. And what do you think? They turned into the Sycamore family. Surprised?
Ooh, Alice, I like it.
Do you?
It's new, isn't it?
It looks nice and summery.
Where'd you get it?
Oh, I took a walk during lunch hour.
You know, you've been taking a lot of walks lately. That's the second new dress this week.
I just like to brighten up the office once in a while. I'm known as the K. Francis of Kirby and Company. Well, what's new around here? In the way of plays, snakes, ballet dancing, or fireworks? Dad, I'll bet you've been down in that cellar all day.
Huh?
I'm going back to the war play, Alice.
Really, Mother?
And play Alice that Beethoven thing you wrote.
You know, you can minnow leather all the way from Nicaragua for only 2 pesos.
Really?
Kenneth, my virginity is a priceless thing to me.
Listen, people, listen. I'm not home to dinner. A young gentleman is calling for me.
Really? Who is it?
Well, isn't that nice?
I did everything possible to keep him from coming here, but he's calling for me.
Why don't you go stay for dinner?
No, I want him to take you in easy doses. I've tried to prepare him a little, but don't make it any worse than you can help. Some other, don't read him any plays. And don't let the snake bite him, Grandpa, because I like him. And I wouldn't dance for him, Essie, because we're going to the Monte Carlo Ballet tonight.
Can't do anything. Who is he, the President of the United States?
No, he's Vice President of Kirby and Company, Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.
The boss's son?
Well,
The boss's son, just like the movies.
That explains the new dresses.
And not being home for dinner for 3 weeks.
Why, Sherlock Holmes.
are you going to marry him?
Oh, of course, tonight. Meanwhile, I have to go up and put on my wedding dress.
Is he good looking?
Yes, in a word. Oh dear. What time is it?
I don't know. Anybody know what time it is?
Mr. DePinna might know. It was about 5 o'clock a couple of hours ago.
Oh, I ought to know better than to ask you people. Will you let me know the minute he comes, please?
Of course, Alice.
Yes, I know, but I mean the minute he comes.
Why, of course.
Well, be sure.
Well, what do you think of that?
She seems to like him, if you ask me.
I'd say so. She's got it bad.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if she married him? We
Now-
could have the wedding right in this room.
Now wait a minute, Penny. This is the first time he's ever called for a girl.
You only called for me once.
Young people are different nowadays.
Oh, I don't know. Look at Eddie. He came to dinner once and just stayed.
Anyhow, I think it's wonderful. Don't you, Grandpa?
Well, she certainly seems happy about it.
He must be crazy about her. Maybe he's the one who's been taking her out every night.
Ding dong!
There he is. Never mind, Reba. I'll answer it. Now remember what Alice said and be very nice to him.
All right, let's take a look at her.
Welcome to our little home.
How do you do?
I'm Alice's mother. Do come right in. Here we are. This is Grandpa, and that's Alice's father, and Alice's sister, and her husband, Ed Carmen. Well, now give me your hat and make yourself all right at home.
Oh, I'm afraid you must be making a mistake.
How's that?
My card.
Wilbur C. Henderson, Internal Revenue Department.
That's right.
What can we do for you?
Does a Mr. Martin Vanderhoff live here?
Yes, sir, that's me.
Well, Mr. Vanderhoff, the government wants to talk to you about a little matter of income tax.
Income tax.
We mind if I sit down?
No, just go right ahead.
Thank you.
Mother, is that Mr. Kirby?
No, it isn't, darling. It's an internal order or something or other. Pardon me.
Mr. Sycamore! Oh, excuse me.
What is it?
These things are not going off. Look!
Not here, Mr. DePinna. Grandpa's busy.
Oh.
Pardon me.
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, we've written you several letters about this, but we have not had any reply.
Oh, those are what those letters were about.
I told you they were from the government.
According to our records, Mr. Vanderhoff, you have never paid an income tax.
That's right.
Why not?
Well, I don't believe in it.
Well, you own property, don't you?
Yes, sir.
And you receive a yearly income from it?
I sure do.
Between $3,000 and $4,000?
About that.
You've been receiving it for years.
I have. 1901 if you want the exact date.
Well, the government's only concerned with 1914 on. That's when the income tax started. Well, it seems, Mr. Vanderhoff, that you owe the government 24 years back income tax.
Wait a minute. You can't go back that far. That's outlawed.
What's your name?
What difference does that make?
Well, have you ever filed an income tax return?
No, sir.
Ah, what was your income last year?
$28.50. Isn't that right, Essie?
Yes, sir.
If you please. Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, there's quite a penalty for not filing an income tax return.
Penalty?
Look, Mr. Henderson, let me ask you something.
Well,
Suppose I pay you this money. Mind you, I don't say I'm going to pay it, but just for the sake of argument. What's the government going to do with it?
well, how do you mean?
Well, what do I get for my money? If I go into Macy's and buy something, there it is, I see it. What's the government give me?
The government, it gives you everything. It protects you.
What from?
Well, invasion. Foreigners that might come over here and take everything you've got.
I don't think they're going to do that.
If you didn't pay an income tax, they would. How do you think the government keeps up the army and the navy, all those battleships?
Last time we used battleships was in the Spanish-American War. And what did we get out of it? Cuba? And we gave that back. I wouldn't mind paying it if it were something sensible.
Sensible? Well, what about Congress and the Supreme Court and the President? We've got to pay them, don't we?
Not with my money. No, sir.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not here to argue with you. All I know is that you haven't paid an income tax and you're going to pay it.
They've got to show me.
We don't have to show you. I just told you. All those buildings down in Washington and interstate commerce and the Constitution.
The Constitution was paid for long ago. And interstate commerce? What is interstate commerce anyhow?
There are 48 states, see? And if there weren't interstate commerce, well, nothing could go from one state to another, see?
Why not? They got fences?
No, they haven't got fences. They've got laws. My God, I've never come across anything like this before.
Well, I might pay about $75, but that's all it's worth.
You'll pay every cent of it like everybody else.
Listen, Essie. Listen to this a minute.
And let me tell you something else. You'll go to jail if you don't pay. Do you hear that? Now that's the law, and if you think you're bigger than in the law, then you've got another thing coming. You're no bigger than anybody else, and the sooner you get that through your head, the better. You'll hear from the United States government. That's all I can say.
Look out for those snakes.
Jesus!
How was that, Essie?
Fine, Ed.
How did that sound to you folks?
I liked it.
My goodness, he was mad, wasn't he?
It's not his fault. It's just that the whole thing is so silly.
He forgot his hat.
Say, what size is that hat?
7 and 8.
Just right for me.
Who was that fellow anyway?
This must be Mr. Kirby.
Better make sure this time.
Yeah, I will.
I hope he's good looking.
How do you do?
Good evening.
This is Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Kirby, come right in. We've been expecting you. Come right in. Now, this is really Mr. Kirby. Now, I'm Alice's mother. That's Mr. Sycamore. That's Alice's grandfather. That's Alice's sister, Essie, and her husband. There. Now you know all of us, Mr. Kirby. Give me your hat and make yourself at home.
Thank you.
Is that Mr. Kirby, Mother?
Yes, Alice, it is. He's lovely.
I'll be right down.
Do sit down, Mr. Kirby.
Thank you. I hope I'm not keeping you from dinner.
Oh, no. Have a tomato.
No, thank you.
How about a piece of candy?
No, thank you.
Oh, I forgot to introduce Mr. DePinna. This is Mr. DePinna, Mr. Kirby.
How do you do?
Wasn't I reading about your father in the newspaper the other day? Didn't he get indicted or something?
Hardly that. He just testified before the Securities Commission.
Oh.
Yes, of course. I'm sure there was nothing crooked about it, Mr. DePinna. As a matter of fact, Alice has often told us what a lovely man your father is.
Well, I know Father couldn't get along without Alice. She knows more about the business than any of us.
You're awful young, Mr. Kirby, aren't you? To be vice president of a big place like that.
Well, you know what that means, Vice President. All I have is a desk with my name on it.
Is that all? Don't you get any salary?
Well, a little. More than I'm worth, I'm afraid.
Now you're just being honest.
Sounds kind of dull to me. Wall Street. Do you like it?
Well, The hours are short, and I haven't been there very long.
Just out of college, huh?
Well, I knocked around for a while first. Just sort of had fun.
Oh, what did you do? Travel?
For a while. Then I went to Cambridge for a year.
England.
That's right.
Say, what's an English commencement like? Did you see any?
Oh, very impressive.
They are, huh?
Anyhow, the fun's over, and I'm facing the world.
Well, you've certainly got a good start, Mr. Kirby. Vice President and rich father.
Well, that's hardly my fault.
So, now I suppose you're all ready to settle down and get married.
Come now, Penny. I'm sure Mr. Kirby knows his own mind.
I wasn't making up his mind for him, was I, Mr. Kirby?
That's quite all right, Mrs. Sycamore.
You see?
You mustn't rush him, Mother.
Well, all I meant was he's bound to get married. And suppose the wrong girl gets him.
Well, here I am, a vision in blue. Apparently you've had time to get acquainted.
Oh, yes, indeed. We were just having a delightful talk about love and marriage.
Oh dear. I'm sorry I came down as fast as I could.
I didn't mind it the least.
Damn those flies in the kitchen. Oh, Miss Alice, you look beautiful. Where are you going?
I'm going out, Rita.
Stepping, huh? Ding dong.
It must be Kalinkov.
I think we better go, Tony.
All right.
Your grandpa, you take cream on your cornflakes, I forget.
Half and half, Donald.
Ah, my little Rabishka.
Yeah, that's Kalenkov, all right.
Yes, no, Mr. Kalinkov.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Grandpa, what do you think? I have had a letter from Russia. The second five-year plan is a failure.
I practiced today, Mr. Kalinkov.
Ah, Madame, over.
Well, if you'll excuse us, Mr. Kalenkov.
My little Alice, never have I seen you look so magnificent.
Thank you, Mr. Kalenkov. Tony, this is Mr. Kalenkov, Essie's dancing teacher. Mr. Kirby.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Will you pardon us, Mr. Kalenkov? We're going to go see the Monte Carlo Ballet.
The Monte Carlo Ballet, it stinks!
Yes, well, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm so glad to have met you all.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Monte Carlo Ballet!
Isn't Mr. Kirby lovely? Come on, everybody. Dinner is ready.
I thought he was a nice fellow, didn't you?
And so good looking.
And you have such nice manners. Did you notice, Paul? Did you notice his manners?
I certainly did. You were getting pretty personal with him.
Oh, now, Paul. Anyhow, I think he's a very nice young man.
He looks like a cousin of mine.
Masked, Tigre leaf, then you had the ballet!
I think if they get married here, I'll put the altar right where the snakes are. You wouldn't mind, Grandpa, would you?
Not if the snakes don't.
Oh no, you'll want to get married in a church, his family and everything.
I like a church wedding.
Of course they would.
All right, quiet, everybody, quiet. Well, sir, we've been getting along pretty good for quite a while now. And we're certainly much obliged. Remember, all we ask is just go along and be happy in our own sort of way. Of course, we want to keep our health. As far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave it to you. Thank you. So the second five-year plan is a failure, eh, Kalenkov?
Got to
That
stop
is
it.
very
And wait until they try
We
the
got
third
dinner.
five-year
I'll
plan.
I'll play the wedding march on my xylophone.
Please don't.